To start with, I have to admit, I thought this title was actually a different story. There's another manhwa with a character that also has pink features that I was pumped to finally get to read, but lo and behold, this was not it. One day when I do finally read and review that one, you all will make fun of me because looking at the art style, they couldn't be any more different. What I was hoping to read has a very clean style with very soft features. This, however, is the exact opposite. It's inconsistent and has very sharp and narrow features. I honestly hate this art style. It does get better, but it's not until we're pretty much at the end before that happens. Their features get so long and pointy that it's honestly comical, but overall this story is not comical at all. It's very dramatic and the art style just doesn't fit. Add in Dojin's mole, which looks like dirt most of the time, and their squat faces, and it's not a good time for this dramatic story. Speaking of the story, this has an interesting concept, and I don't mean the neighbors trope or the hate to love trope. Dojin's neighbor goes by Sujiyam, but that's not his original name. The two main characters actually knew each other in high school, but after Sujiyam, formerly Youngsu, hears Dojun badmouthing someone being gay, he transfers schools and changes his name. This, of course, is a misunderstanding, but we'll get into that later. What interests me most is the identity change. I like this element, and it makes total sense for a character who's dealing with a homophobic family and a painful high school experience to go so far as to completely reinvent his identity. It also makes Dojun's inability to recognize him so much more realistic. Even if he has an inkling of recognition, having a completely different name would help hide his former identity. It was very believable, and I liked it. What I don't care for is the evil stepmother trope. The stepmom drops in and torments Sujiyam even long after she's gotten what she wants. Sujiyam being essentially disowned, allowing her children to be favored. It reminds me a tad of the mother in 10th Times the Charm, though thankfully not as melodramatic. Still, the stepmom's role felt a bit overboard with her taunting. I have the same feelings regarding the other love interests Sujiyam has. They're all creeps and cheaters. This is a heavy drama title, so look no further if you're looking for that melodrama. It's not my cup of tea, however. Before I close out, I do have one more thing I want to discuss. Misunderstandings. This whole story is based on multiple misunderstandings, but these are actually pretty reasonable misunderstandings. The initial misunderstanding isn't even the presumed homomesia from Dojun. It's actually when Sujiyam shows up at a meeting spot to support his friend, who was supposed to confess to Dojun, only for her not to show up and have Dojun respond as if Sujiyam had asked him there to confess. That is such a fun misunderstanding, and it shows that Dojun takes Sujiyam's feelings into consideration. I adore this moment, as it sets up for Dojun's by awakening, as well as the present day issue Dojun has with proving he isn't homophobic.